So alam ko on stage now and then we had a break. So thank you very much, CSA. So I'm gonna compete for your hot coffee and snacks. So ginawa ko, instead of these items in the booth, sitting in the booth, so I incorporated 3 questions in my 20-minute presentation. And then first 2 raise up there and answer it quick. And then I have my BDM there from Consor, our security student. Then I will give you the prize. It's a Bluetooth speaker. So anyway, thank you for CSA for having us here in terms of support for the cloud security. My name is Camiling. I take care of the cybersecurity business of Cisco. And again, this is not about me, but the bottom line is I've been doing cybersecurity practice for about 15 years now. I started doing intrusion prevention systems, advanced malware detections, and all that. So this has been discussed already by a few of our speakers, and all of us may be agreeing this is the kind of network that was built before probably Web 2.0, right? Everything, critical infra, your apps, your desktops and all, centered in the HQ. And in terms of security postures, probably you're just building the biggest, baddest firewall like the Great Wall of China within the infrastructure. So perimeter security lang. So again, this has changed. Probably most of your security is concentrated inside the infrastructure. And I don't know if you're going to take a survey, except for this table here, which is something like reserved on the note. Pero nakakadalawang speaker na, hindi ko pa nakikita bumabalik. So anyway, this will be probably your infrastructure like now. You've got roaming laptops, you've got probably, I've been roaming around looking at each table and all of yours, like from time to time looking at your smartphone devices, taking some photos of the presentations, and looking at your probably Facebook pages or checking out your email. At the end of it, it's all about the internet. When you go into like a barber shop, probably even a funeral parlor, or a nail salon, or a coffee shop in a mall, everybody looks for what? Exactly. Everybody looks for Wi-Fi. And if you're going to look for Wi-Fi, you've got to have what? Of course, if you want to access Wi-Fi, you got to have data, and then you want to access the internet. Probably to check your mail, or probably just check your social media sites and all of those things. Now, with this kind of approach on the way we work, these are some of the security challenges that most enterprises are facing. One, difficult to manage security. In this summit alone of the CSA, you've got to see a lot of vendors, security vendors at that, whether startup, big names, in the floor. And then that would add up in terms of capabilities for sure, but it will add up also complexities. That's one of the challenges. And cloud apps and shadow IT. Our good friend from Microsoft and my good friend from Symantec even mentioned this cloud applications, shadow IT. The actual technology, the standard security is CASB, CASB. How sure are you that the users accessing the cloud apps are the real users that's supposed to access it? Cisco, for example, we're using Salesforce.com or SFDC. So Cisco IT is making sure that everybody is within the badge of Cisco is using SFDC and using it for the right purpose. And then again, every security vendor has this topic, malware and ransomware. We even have our friend, this morning speaker from RSA, trying to dissect how a ransomware actually looks like, or how you even try to prevent ransomware. So these are the security challenges that an enterprise may face. So I think this goes down to my first question. Can you name one security challenge enterprise is facing? Dan, where are you? So the gentleman in the back.
Malware and ransomware.
Thank you very much, sir. So bigyan ng jacket, our jacket. So bigyan ng Bluetooth speaker yan. Thank you, sir. So That's the first question. So this is a nice Bluetooth speaker. So, having said that, I'm going to introduce to you Cisco Umbrella in my next 15 minutes of talk with you. I'm not going to deep dive what does it do, but I'm just going to tell you where it fits in. Pinagtatawanan nga ako now you're selling umbrella. Diba? Yeah, it's really umbrella. It's called umbrella because it acts like your digital bouncer for the internet. And how does that thing work? Okay. This thing is actually built into the foundation of the internet. Cisco basically, and Cisco network built the internet. So it's just imperative for us to secure it. Right? So if you guys are looking, watching, trying to get access to Wi-Fi, probably, I'm not sure, I'm not going to use the show of hands thing, but most probably, if not all, of the company present in this room is providing internet access. Whether to your employee or a personal usage, you're providing internet access. So, the question is, do you monitor your internet gateway? Do you monitor the DNS layer that talks about the internet? And if not, then probably you're prone to malware attacks. Probably you're prone to callbacks. I'm going to switch about here because I cannot see the person because of this speaker, but probably you're prone to callbacks. Probably you're prone to phishing attacks. What's a callback? The gentleman at the back mentioned about ransomware and malware. A successful malware ransomware inside your enterprise or inside your network, regardless of the security technology you place in the infrastructure, will do a callback. It's part of the attack kill chain of the ransomware. So the question lies is, what are you trying to protect? And if you guys are providing internet access to your employees, to your peers, or to your enterprise, then are we monitoring the DNS layer? That's probably something that you would try to talk about. So where does Umbrella fit? I'm not even discussing about the technologies that you have there. Probably the question I would need to pose to ask the floor is, do you have next generation firewall? Do you have IPS? Do you have anti-spam? Do you have AD? Do you even have proxy? Do you have sandboxing? All of these things are talking about infrastructure, but DNS layer, and if you're accessing the internet, is your first layer of defense with regards to the internet. So I'm going to give you a classic example of a sandbox. Sandbox is not a security stuff. It's a feature. You try to put something on a virtual environment, try to detonate it, and then say, okay, this is a good traffic or not, or a malware or not, and then you let it flow into the network. But then again, if it's inside the network, how come it tries to do callback? So, you're in an internet cafe. You're that person there using the roaming laptop, whether it's corporate provided or not, whether you're using a VPN or not. Are you trying to access your email from an internet cafe, for example, probably Starbucks, and then you tether on your phone so that you'll not be detected and you'll not be doing a backcalling to the head office just to check your Facebook, just to check your Twitter account? If you're that person, you're already the walking data center. If you already checked your email this morning, and I'm seeing a lot of guys right now still looking at their phones, smartphones at that. If you check your email even before the session started, you are a walking data center. And the medium that you use there is the internet access. So again, let me pose the question. Are you looking at the DNS layer? Or are you looking at the internet gateway as something to protect? Unless you're probably smart as my good friend Marlon from Symantec, just 2 speakers back. You're going to type in, open your browser, and then type in 202.123.456.10. You don't do that. You open the browser, you type in a URL. And every URL that you type in, you have a domain name. And if that has a domain name, then that's using a DNS. And any malware in the world being written right now who's doing callback, mind you, who's doing callback is using a domain name for those malicious infrastructure. So it's imperative for us to take consideration in looking into the DNS layer of the Internet Gateway. So it all starts about the DNS. So, I'm going to walk you through in 30 seconds probably how do we do this. It could be classified as a good domain and then go on, surf. And then it could be classified as a bad domain and then we block. But what about we classify as a risky domain? Either or neither nor. So what we do is something like this. We kind of like look into our threat intelligence feed. We call our threat intelligence group as Palo Security or Palo's Intelligence. And then we try to look against the categorizations of all these URLs. We do web reputations and all that stuff. And then even if we're not yet sure on the riskiness of the domain, we even try to check the file itself, the script, the code, using our advanced malware protection from all the Cisco security engine. And after that, we even now decide whether it's a good or bad. So, let me just skip this a bit. Before I show you the ransomware sample of how we do it, this is our view. We're looking at about 100 billion DNS requests per day. I'm going to give you a context. Google searches 3.5 billion a day. So imagine if I'm a user, I open my laptop, I'm used to Google Chrome, and then I open like 10 tabs. That's like 10 requests. And it's not even for a day. No, probably I have my CNN.com there, I have my Cisco.com, I have my, much as I don't want to share it to you, probably I check my fxm.com.ph to see where Kim Domingo landed. Right? So, anyway, we have about 85 million active users, and most of the time, in terms of efficacy, we're looking at about 3 million daily new domain names. For the certain internet users, they don't care whether that domain name really is a malicious or not. They just want to surf the internet. For us, security practitioners or Cisco security at that, we're seeing this. So, how do we do this? I'm going to give you a classic example of this one lucky ransomware variant using that particular domain. On that timestamp there, August 17, Umbrella Intelligence already tagged this particular domain as malicious. And then on the virus total,